What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I got a brand new bike sitting in front of me. This is the Meelod, whatever you want to call it, all right? This is the XT600DL, and we're going to review it in today's video and see if it's worth it by the end of this video. But first, I got to go over the specs with you. So let's bring you in here with the camera. Let's go over it really quick so we put the GoPro on and actually do a real riding review on this thing. And I'm going to tell you the honest truth. We got a 750 watt motor in the back, but we also have another motor in the front that's 750 watts, making this a dual motor e-bike. This is a 52 volt system e-bike with a 25 amp hour battery. We got some letters right underneath the battery that are very hard to read if you want to screenshot that. The back of the battery does have more information where it says it's 1300 watt hours, 55 amp max discharge rate, and it can charge up to 5 amps. And the charger that we get with it goes up to 3 amps max. Interesting look at the bike without that battery on there. The bike does come with 2 keys. These keys are not ignition keys. These are just to take the battery on and off. Underneath the seat is where we're gonna have the controller. It's 25 amps with 18 MOSFETs. It says ride with freedom. You do get a spring shock back here instead of an air shock. So that's gonna be interesting. You do have some fine adjustments right at the top right here and then right at the bottom. The seat is nice and wide, but it is very firm. Now these tires are massive. They're 26 inch by 4 inches wide. You got knobby tread, which will be good for the street and the dirt. Nice headlight up front that hides all the wires in the back. It also has turn signals right here, and I think you have a high and low beam as well. Bike also has a rear brake light. Now with the lights off, you can see the headlight beam, nice and flat all the way across. Looks like it's gonna be a very nice wide light. You also have a high beam, which keeps the original factory light on, and it just adds an extra beam on top of that, which is real skinny in the middle, but goes a lot higher. And then you have your turn signals, which you can see in the back. You also have the turn signals in the front. Very, very bright in the front, not as bright in the back. And then other than that, you got your brake light. And the brake light is decent. So here's how I look sitting on the bike at 5'9". Keep in mind, this seat is non-adjustable, so wherever it's at is where it's gonna stay at. You cannot move it up and down. This bike does hold up to someone 450 pounds though, so keep that in mind. So if you're a big rider, you might actually like this bike. It says it can accommodate someone from 5'3" to 6'2". I gotta say, for being 5'9", my feet aren't actually fully planted on the ground. I mean, I could kind of force them, but the seat is very wide, so it's kind of uncomfortable to force my feet to hit the ground. But I would say if you're at least 5'5" and up, you won't have that much of a problem. Another thing is this thing weighs 118 pounds, and I feel like a lot of the weight is in the front. Holy crap. Definitely a heavy bike. I decided to measure the seat to see how far it is off the ground, and it's roughly about 33 inches on average. Now the seat is a little low right here, and it keeps going higher and higher, and back here it's about 34 inches. Now I'm curious on how this bike is gonna be to pedal, because this is only a 42.2 chainring with a 170 millimeter crankset. And we're only getting a 7-speed instead of an 8-speed. Also comes with a Shimano Tourney TZ derailleur, and it also comes with a derailleur guard as well, just in case, so it doesn't mess this up and get bent. Now we do get hydraulic brakes on this bike, and they're branded by Meelod. They're 4-piston hydraulic brakes. The rear rotor is 180 millimeter, and the front one is 203 millimeter rotor, so you get a bigger rotor on the front compared to the back. Now here's how it looks to sit on the bike for the first time, so let's turn it on. This is a nice 3.5 inch color display. It's also waterproof as well. You don't want to go through a bunch of water, but if it's lightly raining, it shouldn't be so bad. The headlight automatically comes on, which is super nice. And it looks like we have a password, so I'm just gonna make up a password and see if this goes through. 00. All right, so I think we can get rid of that password if we want to in the settings. But right now, let's just check this thing out. So the trip I have on here, 1.4 miles, that was just testing it up and down the street. If you do hit this power button right over here, you're gonna notice that the wheel changes. So every single time I hit the power button, we're in rear drive right now, you hit it, it goes into both motors. You hit it again, it goes into the front motor. And then if you hit it one more time, it goes into the rear. Over on the left-hand side, you got bar end caps, grips that have a palm rest right here, high and low beam right there, turn signal button right below that. Horn, pretty loud, especially in a garage. We'll see how it is out there when in the real world. We're gonna try it out. And then here's your pedal assist to go up and down. So you'll notice as we start going up, the display starts changing color. So it went from green to blue. And then when you go into the higher modes, 4 to 5, which is gonna be our highest power assist, it goes into red. If you hold both of these buttons together, you can get into the advanced settings, and then to go through them, you just hit the power button, but it looks like you have to put in a password. Let's see if the 000 thing works. Okay, it doesn't. Maybe it's 2020. See if that goes through. No, 2020 doesn't work either. I thought I saw that online that works. So hopefully this bike is unlocked for me and I can go super fast. Let's see if there's some other things we could change without a password. There we go. So we have themes. All right, that's cool. I like this blue or purple right there. I'm gonna leave it on the original one. And let's see, let's go back. You got a password. So I think we can get rid of that password at the beginning if you want. So every single time you turn the bike on, you don't have to deal with that. Bluetooth, you can connect a Bluetooth device on it. You just got to scan that on your phone. Auto off feature is when the bike will turn off. You could do it 5 minutes, 10 minutes off, 1 minute if you want. And then wheel size, we're not going to mess with that because I don't know how accurate the display is. And then your display info, which should show you your hardware version and software version, and then exit. So there you go on that. Over here on the right hand side, you got the same grip as the left. You do have a unique thumb throttle, which feels very nice. It's very close to the grip, so I like that. You do have your shifter right here that you use with your thumb, and then you use this finger for the front. Now, one thing I wasn't the biggest fan of this bike that I realized after moving it in my garage is that the kickstand gets in the way as you move this bike back. So now it's locked and it won't go anywhere. So you're always gonna have to like kind of kick the bike out of the way. So you're gonna have to lift it up, kick that, oh, make sure the bike doesn't move because the bike is on right now, and then kick that out of the way and then be able to put it back down. Now, other than that, after I'm pouring sweat in this garage, we're gonna put the GoPro on and get the wind flowing through my hair, and let's go actually review this thing and see if it's worth the price point of $2,000 of what it's coming in right now on sale. All right, we are on the GoPro now, real riding footage right here. And I gotta see how fast it goes in the single motor, rear motor. They're both the same exact motor, so we're just gonna do this test in one of the motors. We're using the rear one right now. Let's see what our top speed is without trying to hit the horn button. I guess we can hit it a few more times. It's actually pretty loud out here. It's not too bad. I thought it was just loud because it's in my garage, but it's really noticeable. So with one motor, it seems like it's a legal class 3 e-bike, and it's gonna go up to about 27 or 28 miles per hour. Now keep in mind, this is like the first mile or two that we have on this bike. So sometimes these motors gotta break in, but look at that, I'm seeing 28 on a single motor. Not too shabby. Now what I wanna do is I wanna switch it to the front motor. Oh, I'm in both, hold on. Before we do that test, let's switch it over to the front and see if the front does anything different. Whoa. The front's taking us past 28. We're doing 30, so that front motor is really giving us a little bit more top speed. That's surprising. And the speedo looks like it's barely off by like 1 mile per hour or maybe like 1.5 miles per hour. Oh, dang, okay. So using the front motor, this thing definitely spins. So it wasn't very quick off the line with one motor in that intersection with traffic, so I would definitely probably move to the back motor. But now we need to see how fast this thing goes in both motors. So I'm going to go both right up the bat, and you can do this on the fly while you're riding, which is very nice. I don't like the bikes that you have to come to a complete stop to switch the modes or do something. This one you can, damn, holy crap, hold on, it's catching me off guard. We're actually going faster than I thought. They say on the website this thing does 35 miles per hour, but I'm already doing 36, and I feel like it has a little bit more in it because the wind is kind of rough right now. And again, this is the first few miles on this bike. Oh yeah, this is probably a good solid 37 mile an hour bike. Oh yeah, this feels great right now, especially with the wind hitting me on a hot day. Oh yeah, this is some good power. Oh, brakes are fantastic too. Wow. Oh, that thing really has some jump to it now. If you guys can see the front, watch this. When I hit it, it kind of lifts up a little bit. Like I can feel my whole body like go back. Yeah, it has a decent amount of torque to it. I don't know what the Newton meters is. I don't think it mentioned it on their website. If it does, I'll put a picture up on the screen, but that's not too bad. Now, one thing I'm noticing when I'm turning right now is the noise. Can see if you can hear this. That's all the cabling that's way down in here. Can you guys see that? Hopefully got the GoPro angled correctly, but there is tons of cables behind that bracket, and it's just all getting slid to the right, slid to the left, and it's just causing a big mess over there. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Be careful on a turn, man. This thing, like, it was going up, but then it was also sliding too. Ooh, definitely be careful. And wear gloves as well too. I always say this in all my videos. I just don't wear gloves on these videos because I want to see how the bike grips feel for you guys. Just out of the box without any gloves, because gloves will definitely affect any type of grips you have on your bike. Let's go, traffic. Oh, we're out of here. Oh, I love bikes that peel out in the front. It's just so fun. It's like doing a little mini burnout of light every single time. Yeah, this thing definitely has power. Look how fast we're getting, up to 35 miles an hour, and if not faster. We are going with some heavier wind though, I will say, so I don't think we're gonna go any faster than probably 36 or 37. But so far, nice, smooth bike. I love the power delivery. I like all the modes you can do, because you can put it in the front motor and you have mode 1 to 5. You can put it in the rear motor, you have mode 1 to 5. And then you have dual motor 1 to 5. You have a bunch of different modes on this bike that you can go through. So if you don't want to use all this power possible and you want to get more range out of it, which they say you can get up to 70 miles of range out of this bike, that's probably going to be on one single motor in probably mode 1 or 2 going slow. The way I'm riding right now, I'm going to say I'll roughly get probably like 25 miles of range. We'll just see. There is no voltage reading up here, just a battery bar. And the way I'm reading it right now, it looks like I have like 90 to 95% left. I don't know. It almost looks completely full, but I can't even tell. Open house, move out the way, son. We are in our designated speed test, and all my bikes, I like to see if they reach 27 miles per hour in this stretch of road, or if they go over that, they're on the faster side. If they're under 27 miles an hour, they're on the slower side. We're gonna try this in the rear motor only, and then we're gonna come back and do it in the dual motor. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. No pedaling, just throttle only. Real curious to see if one motor will make it at 27 or up miles per hour. I'm real curious. It's no slouch whatsoever. It's a pretty decently quick bike, especially in a single motor. We're almost reaching that speed. We're running out of room though. 26. Oh, okay. I didn't reach that speed, and I didn't slow down just because of them, but I also didn't want to chance it and get real close to them and scare them. But anyways, so single motor, not as fast as most other e-bikes, and that's just because this is a very heavy bike compared to most e-bikes out there at 118 pounds, because we have 2 motors on it. All right, we're back. Here we go. Dual motors, throttle only. 1, 2, 3. Yes, baby. Yeah. That sounds like Austin Powers. Yeah, baby. God, this thing, we're already at 27, 30. 31, 32, I'm going off of this, by the way. 33, yep, 33 before I hit that. Thanks, man. Yeah, awesome, quick bike. Now, let's see how the pedals feel. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm in gear like 2. Okay, there we go, there we go. Oh, I'm going down. Use this to go up. All right, oh man, I can't even feel them shifting. Oh, I'm already ghost pedaling though. Hold on. Let's find out when ghost pedaling is. It feels smooth to pedal. It's just not going to be the best bike because the chainring's small and it's a 7-speed. So here we go. Let's see when ghost pedaling starts. So right now I feel connected. I'm moving the cranks by myself. Oh, 19 miles an hour. There we go. It was at 18, 19. It was done. So once you pass that, you're just moving your feet freely. No connection to the bike whatsoever. But still feels pretty nice to pedal, even though I have a very wide seat on here. It's not rubbing it all for me. How these brakes work. Now here's a quick look at the bike out in the sun, other than in my garage, so you can get a better look at how it looks like. And I gotta say, the red wheels are very metallic and shiny. The frame kind of has a little similar feature, but it looks more of a flat color on the red part. And then the rest of it just kind of like a flat black. But I gotta say, the wheels really stand out on this bike and really draw your attention to it. And that little red accent you have right here really throws it off as well. Very nice bike overall. I'm not going to sit out here too long because I know the GoPro is going to overheat. It's a very, very hot day. I really like the front of this with all this, but I feel like there's just too much cables right here and it's all bunched up and it's making a lot of noise, and it's actually making it a little tiny bit harder to turn. but it's not the end of the world. It's just, it's a cool setup. It's just, I think it could have been implemented a little bit better. We're on to our hill test. Let's try this hill test out in the rear motor and let's see how it does. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you're going up a hill, you're probably gonna use dual motors, but oh, hey, my feet are up. I am not pushing off the ground and it made it. Barely, but it made it. Let's try the front motor. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, well. Oh, come on. Okay, no, it's not gonna do it. Whoa, look at that big thing I dug in the ground. All right, so we're in dual motor now. Let's see how it comes up the hill. Obviously it's gonna do it, but let's see how fast it does it. 1, 2, 3. Whoa. Oh, like 9 miles an hour at the top of that hill. Jeez Louise. Oh, this thing feels fast on the dirt. Oh, you could definitely get yourself in some trouble on this thing. Holy crap, holy crap. Whoa, you gotta pay attention out here. Definitely feels a lot faster on the dirt than on the street when you're flying past a lot of stuff. Be careful when turning on the dirt too, because that front tire just loves to pill out, especially if you're in the highest power mode. And of course, we buy these bikes to go this fast, so I'm gonna use all the power possible. But again, if you're really trying to save battery and be more safer, then yeah, just lower the power down. But I'm out here having fun. Surprisingly, the suspension feels really good to me for my weight at 170 pounds. I'm not having an issue whatsoever. The only thing I'm really having an issue with is the seat is starting to hurt a little tiny bit because it's very firm. It's not very squishy or plush. So I really feel like the seat could have been upgraded and changed. But I'm really digging the suspension. I don't think I got to adjust it. I think it's just right for me. Next thing is a turning test, ladies and gentlemen. So I gotta say, it's not the smoothest bike for turning. Huge fat tires, they're very wide as well. You got a bunch of cable management up here kind of getting in the way and, you know, kind of blocking a lot of like your turning radius as well. Like it's really making it harder to turn. And it's just an overall beefy, heavy bike, especially with that front motor. So when you turn, you just got to go and lean your weight into it and you'll be perfectly fine. But it's not the smoothest, most easiest bike to turn. You gotta definitely put some weight into it. Next thing we gotta do is a brake test. I'm gonna try to do this at 28 miles an hour, class 3 e-bike. I'm gonna do my best to try to regulate that speed, and we're gonna slam on them and see how they do. There we go, we're at about 28, go. Woo! Oh yeah, the back came up. I slid from here up to here on the seat. All right, not too bad. You can see my skid mark that I started at that slab of cement right there. It came all the way over here and stopped. And if we stop at this line or behind this line right here, it's like a little arrow that's fading away. I got to come out here and kind of make my own. But it's a really good stopping e-bike, especially with the knobby tires on there. If it had street tires, it'd actually stop a little bit better, I think. Not too bad at all. I felt like the front one was working a little bit stronger than the rear, especially since the back lifted up on me. The front is heavier than the back of this bike, so just keep that in mind. That's something I noticed. But yeah, very good bike for braking if you need to slam on those brakes. Now, one thing I think they could have worked on a little bit better on this bike, and I understand the front motor cable has to have a little bit of slack so it has, you know, travel and whatnot, but see how loose this cable is in the front? It sticks very far out from the bike, and then when you pull the cabling up and kind of get rid of that slack, as soon as you hit some of your suspension like that, this flies way out here. I would have liked to seen a slightly better design where it was more closer to the front fork compared to like the Aniogi bike. That was actually a very clean setup. And I think the Ehora bike had a slightly cleaner setup as well. Whoa, squirrel. Let's see how this thing does in a turn. Whoa, I'm flying. Going pretty fast. My phone turned off somehow. I don't know if my phone overheated or what. But look, I'm doing 29 around this thing with knobby tires. That's crazy. Let's see if we catch this green light. I want to see how fast this bike will go going downhill. All right, we got it. Oh, the wind is really bad though. Really, really bad. All right, 36. This says 37. I'm pretty sure we'll hit 37, no? My GPS still says 36. Oh, why? I thought we were at least gonna hit 37. I didn't feel no hard cut on the bike. but it didn't go any faster than 36. But again, this bike is rated for 35 miles an hour, so how can I be mad at it going any faster than that? I was just hoping to get a little bit more speed out of the downhill. All right, so the next thing I like to do is the throttle response and the pedal response. Let's get into the throttle response first. Let's see how fast that activates. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. All right, maybe like a second delay. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, about a second delay. It's not the fastest button I've ever pushed for the throttle, but it's decent. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. All right, yeah. So 1 second delay, not that bad, but as soon as the power hits, it gives you all the power. Now there is no wattage or voltage, nothing on this display to tell you like the power that's coming in and out of the bike. Nothing, no amps, nothing. I would like to see something that told me how much power I'm getting out of this bike at a certain peak in time when I'm riding it. Like from the start, and then when I reach top speed, what's my power output, you know what I mean? But anyways, let's go down in gear real quick, and I'm going to see how fast these pedals respond. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, might have been a little bit faster than the throttle. Hold on, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's almost very similar to the throttle. I want to say if this is 1 second, this is like 0.8 of a second. So here we go. Let's do this one more time. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, pedals pretty much respond the same way as the throttle does. I want to say the pedals actually, depending on what gear you're in, are probably going to respond faster than the throttle. But if you're at a low speed and you're in like gear 7, you're definitely going to use the throttle, because I feel like it's going to take you longer to move those pedals and try to stay balanced. Now I do hear some noise from this bike, and maybe you guys can hear it. I kind of upped the audio a little bit for you guys to see if you guys can hear that or not. It sounds like it's coming from the tires. It's really hard to tell, but I really think it's from those tires. Once they hit a max speed, they just have a loud kind of high pitch to them. But the motors seem very quiet, not having an issue with the motors. And I think this is gonna be a legal bike as long as you keep it under 28 miles an hour for not getting a ticket, because this does have 2 750 watt motors on it. Now the law doesn't really state if it has to have 1 single 750 watt motor, so I think you'll be okay if you got pulled over and showed them what this bike has. But just don't tell them how fast this bike goes. Definitely use this speed for off-road use only. See how it is coming up curbs and whatnot. Oh yeah, easier than I thought it was. Real nice and plush. I got these tires aired up to about 18 PSI. They go up to a recommended 20. And it was just enough right cushion to get some, good comfort out of it, but also make sure we get decent range. And right now, I couldn't tell you what my range is. I want to say that battery bar looks like it's probably at like 75%. But yeah, I have no honest idea what's going on with that range. I wish I could change that so bad. And I'm glad I didn't actually have to go into the settings of this bike to make it go any faster. It's going top speed, which I think if you go into the settings, you could change it to go to 100 miles an hour, but the bike technically will never go 100 miles an hour. That would be cool though, especially for a $2,000 e-bike, where at least right now of making the video, this is a $2,000 e-bike. And I gotta say, the bike isn't like bad at all. It has a little bit of shine to it if you want to be noticed. It has dual motors. It's not pushing over $3,000, which some of these other dual motor e-bikes are, but it's also not the cheapest bike either. There are some dual motor e-bikes out there that are closer to the 1,000 or just over that. So you gotta pick and choose like what you want. I feel like for me, I'm having a good time on this bike. I wouldn't be unhappy if I spent $2,000 on this bike. I think the only thing that I would really be complaining about is this seat. Oh, and I just got splashed with water. So another complaint, no fenders. No fenders front and back, and I just got it all in my face. It might even be on the GoPro as well. But anyways, let me get back to the house and give you my final conclusion while I run over someone's wood that they just threw out on the side of the road on the bike lane. So I'll see you guys in one bit back at the house. All right, guys, so final conclusion. As I got back, I was out there for a good 30 minutes, and I'm gonna stop this. It says that I did 9.5 miles. My average speed was 19 miles per hour, and my top speed was 36 miles per hour. On here, it said my top speed was 37. But this display looks great, and it displays everything you really need to other than voltage. That's kind of a downside of this bike, that it doesn't show voltage to see where your battery's at. And I know a lot of people are gonna say you can carry a voltmeter, take the battery off and connect it to the pins, and you can actually see what the volts are in the battery and then look up the chart online. but I wanna say 9 out of 10 people aren't going to be doing that. Only the hardcore enthusiasts are gonna do that. And when you're out there riding, you're not gonna understand where this is at going off of that battery bar. You might have a slight idea, but it's not the best. And my battery bar on here was showing about, it looked like 60%. So I think I'm right when I say this thing can get about 25 miles of range with throttle only using both motors. But if you really wanna get closer to that 70-mile mark they say, which I want to say you probably get about 40 to 50 if you like baby it in like the single gear, single motor, but that's just me. Take it with a grain of salt. I love the shifter on it. I like the grips. The brakes were phenomenal, especially the front because it has that 203 millimeter rotor on there. The back, on the other hand, like it still stopped great. Don't get me wrong, but the back wasn't as strong as the front. I love the suspension. The suspension felt great to me. I had no issues with it. The lights we'll check out in a separate video. So subscribe if you want to see another video, which will be coming shortly after this one goes up. The seat though. The seat is nice and wide. I like that because even if you are a bigger or a shorter person, you don't have that big of a butt, it's still nice to have a wide seat on it. That does make it a little harder when you pedal, but the seat does come in real close right here. So, and that's where your feet are gonna be moving up and down. And I didn't have any issues pedaling this bike whatsoever, but the seat is too hard. They should have used a softer material, memory foam, something, I don't know. But this seat is just too hard for me. I didn't like the seat. It was already hurting me after almost 10 miles, so just put it at that. I like the tires. I love the rims. I love that it's a dual motor setup under $2,000 right now. Obviously, I'll have links, discount codes, everything in the description. You do have a compression adjustment over here that I did not tell you about, but every bike mostly has that. There is no lockout though. I was hoping there was gonna be a lockout on here, but I don't see one. I do love the front though, how it has the turn signals and everything like that, and I love this plate because it hides all the wires, but I feel like there's just too many wires on this bike, and I said this earlier, where it's all bunched together, and then when you turn, you can feel the wires kind of like not knowing where to go, and they just kind of switch over to the other side, and you can hear like a creaking, popping noise because it's like, so it's not the end of the world, it's just there's a lot of wires that are tucked behind that plate that I had to smash it to get the bolts through. So that's all I'm saying. On that note though, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go, and if it's a bike for you, it's a bike for you. I can't really tell you guys on that. All I can say is you guys are getting a lot of bike for the money. I mean, high and low beam, turn signals, horn, shifter over here. I mean, it's a big bike in general, decent size 25 amp hour battery, decent power, and you can't go wrong with it. It's gonna tackle a lot of stuff, especially if you're in a hilly area, and it's only coming in at $2,000, and links in again will all be down in the description, so if you guys wanna save some money on this bike and whatnot. So I'm gonna leave it to you guys if it's worth it or not. You guys are the true MVPs. I'll see you in the next video when I take this bad boy to work. We're gonna check out the headlight, the turn signals, and the brake light while we ride it to work and just see how fun it is. I might not even charge it so we can see what our range will be, because we'll have a almost 10-mile trip in the next video. So see you guys in the next one. Peace out.